Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I would like to welcome you all for joining His Holiness Chandramauli Maharaj's daily online class. Thank you all for joining and a very warm welcome to you all. My humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Haribol. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Brahma Ovacha Bhagavan Sarva Bhutanam Adyoksha Vastito Goham Vedaya Pratirudena Pragyanena Chikirsitam. Lord Brahma said, O personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as a supreme director, and therefore you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence without any hindrance whatsoever. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that the Lord is situated in everyone's heart as the witness, and as such, he is the supreme director of sanction. The director is not the enjoyer of the fruits of action, for without the Lord's sanction, no one can enjoy. For example, in a prohibited area, a habituated drunkard puts forth his application to the director of drinking, and the director, considering his case, sanctions only a certain amount of liquor for drinking. Similarly, the whole material world is full of many drunkards, in the sense that each and every one of the living entities has something in his mind to enjoy, and everyone desires the fulfillment of his desires very strongly. The Almighty Lord, being very kind to the living entity, as the Father is kind to the Son, fulfills the living entity's desire for his childish satisfaction. But such desires in mind the living entity does not actually enjoy, but he serves the bodily whims unnecessarily without profit. The drunkard does not derive any profit out of drinking, but because he has become a servant of the drinking habit and does not wish to get out of it, the merciful Lord gives him all facilities to fulfill such desires. The impersonalists recommend that one should become desireless, and others recommend banishing desires altogether. That is impossible. No one can banish desires altogether because desiring is the living symptom. Without having desires, a living entity would be dead, which he is not. Therefore, living conditions and desire go together. Perfection of desires may be achieved when one desires to serve the Lord, and the Lord also desires that every living entity banish all personal desires and cooperate with his desires. That is the last instruction in the Bhagavad Gita. Brahmaji agreed to this proposal, and therefore he is given the responsible post of creating generations in the vacant universe. Bring the page up, please. Yeah. One with the Lord, therefore, consists of dovetailing one's desires with the desires of the Supreme Lord. That makes for the perfection of all desires. The Lord, as the super soul in the heart of all living beings, knows what is in the mind of every living entity, and no one can do anything without the knowledge of the Lord within. By his superior intelligence, the Lord gives everyone the chance to fulfill his desire to the fullest extent, and the resultant action is awarded by the Lord. Om Gyanti Mirandasya Yana Jana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakte Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya De Satarine Vancha Kalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, yeah, desire and life are synonymous. As it's mentioned here, there are a class of people who preach to become desireless. But it's not possible. What they're actually saying is get rid of those desires that you feel that you don't need. But to become desireless is not possible. There is a class of spiritualists that say that you have to empty yourself of everything and become void. And then once you become void, then you merge into the unlimited void and become one with the void. But we are not desireless, nor can we become void. it's it's just constitutionally not possible. We are living beings. Krishna is a living being. We are connected with Krishna in loving and living activities. So ultimately, love Krishna is the perfection of desires. We see in this world people are trying to fulfill their desires in so many different ways. And they're trying to find the best relationship as the ultimate principle of desire. So they make friends, they get married, and they do various other kinds of activities with other living entities to enjoy relationship. That is a desire. There are certain people who don't want to have relationships or feel that all relationships are a source of suffering. And so they try to create an atmosphere where they are by themselves, no relationship, but they're having relationships with other things. Other living entities are also there. There's animals, there's insects, and there's always someone coming in your life, even though you don't want it. Even a man on an island, with supposedly no one there, is desiring to be with someone. It's just natural. So these desires cannot be stopped. But as it says here, one has to connect one's desire with Krishna's desire. The story is Sri Narada Muni. When Narada Muni was a young boy, this is before he actually attained the position of Narada Muni. In his previous life, he was a young boy whose mother was a maidservant to all of the sages in a particular hotel. Now, these sages would stop in these hotels during the Chaturmas and stay there for 4 months. And then they would just stop their travels and they would do Sangha amongst themselves because the rainy season is not conducive to travel. It becomes sometimes very difficult or even impossible. So during those 4 months, the rainy season, sometimes it's less, as today's we see things change, but they say that it's Chaturmasya from July all the way through to November. Of course, the rainy season usually ends around the beginning of October nowadays. Depends on what place in India you are, of course. And so he was a young boy and he was assisting his mother in serving the sages. And at one time, he took the remnants of the sages. And when he did, it changed his whole consciousness just by getting their remnants. He became free from all material desires simply by taking their remnants. And he developed a type of consciousness which was similar to the consciousness of the great sages. That's the power. This is called Maha Prashadam, not just Maha Prashadam, but Maha Prashadam. Maha is when uh, a great soul will receive the Maha of the Supreme Lord, and they will take some of it and leave that, and that will become Maha. That Maha is so powerful that it can purify one's consciousness. And that's what happened to Narada Muni as a little boy. At one point, his mother was bitten by a snake and she died, and he had no father. So he was left alone. And he didn't know what to do. He was still very young, I think 6 or 7 years old. So, becoming somewhat God conscious, he started to chant, and he received. Now, he didn't receive directly, but he understood how the sages were carrying out their sadhana, so he adopted that also. And then he started to focus on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Having no place to go, he simply wandered. And during the time he was wandering, he started to think of Krishna. He said he went through very nice, beautiful lands with nice agricultural fields and lakes and streams and beautiful hills. Then he also traveled in very deep, dark areas where there were coal mines and various types of foreboding atmosphere. But during that time, he focused his consciousness on Krishna. At one point, he stopped and started to meditate regularly on Krishna. And Krishna actually appeared to him right in front of him. His meditation broke at one time, and when he opened his eyes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was standing right there in front of him. His whole body became charged with ecstasy. And the Lord spoke. He said, "You are incomplete in your bhakti. You will only see me once in this life." And then he disappeared. But he remembered that darshan with the Lord. But he felt a oneness. And this is explained. What was that oneness he was feeling with the Lord? Not that he wanted to merge into the Lord or did merge into the Lord. He felt a oneness in purpose. He felt a desire for him, his desire and the Lord's desire were non-different. In other words, the Lord's desire and his desire were non-different. So that is the actual success of desire, to make the Lord's desire our desire. And then what is the Lord's desire? He wants all living entities to come back to him in loving devotional service. He wants all living entities to take up that science, which is called bhakti, which brings the consciousness of the living entity to pure consciousness or Krishna consciousness, which qualifies one to go back home, back to Godhead. That's the Lord's desire. He fulfills his own desire by coming to the material world and performing his pastimes just to attract the conditioned souls back to him. And he does many other things to facilitate the living entity's desire in line with his desire to become Krishna conscious. Comes in the form of Bhagavatam, not different than the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is a literary incarnation of the Lord. He comes in the form of the deity, his beautiful transcendental form for worship, and devotees can develop a very intimate relationship with the Lord in the form of a deity through regular worship and devotion. He comes in the form of his holy name, which is non-different than him, which is the means for purification in this age. He comes in the form of prasadam, as we see the example of Narada Muni, how just taking prasadam once from the great sages, he became fully free from all material desires. And the Lord also comes in the form of suffering that comes by way of the material energy, just to wake those up who won't accept the nice way, such as Bhagavatam, holy name, um, Krishna Prasadam, the deity, the association of like-minded persons. No, he comes in the form of suffering just to kick the living entity back out of the material energy to wake them up. This suffering is actually his mercy to help the conditioned souls to realize that their attempt to enjoy this material world is not really their real desire or their actually desire for success. So he's very, very merciful. Krishna is merciful. As it says here, the Almighty Lord being very kind to the living entity, as the Father is very kind to the Son. But if we are stubbornly acting against his will, then he will allow us to continue that way. And he allows us to try to fulfill our desires by being separate by him, by making our futile attempt to enjoy this material energy. He doesn't interfere with our independence, but at the same time, he shows mercy in different ways to wake us up to our real source of success, the shelter of his lotus feet and the service of him eternally. So the Lord is very kind. He doesn't leave us alone. But there's those who resist consciously the Lord's mercy. So at one point he'll say, all right, if this is what you want, then go ahead and try to enjoy this material world. And he also sometimes helps them to get what they want, but he can't do one thing, is that he can't give you the happiness you're looking for in the material sense, because he's arranged the material energy in such a way as to cause us some type of success or happiness. That means some relief from suffering. But then again, that's temporary. And then whatever source of happiness we somehow achieve, that changes in due course of time. And that same object or that same activity becomes the source of suffering, because that's the nature of the material energy. It's dualistic. Whatever you try to enjoy in this world will turn into some form of suffering at one point in your life, either immediately or within due course of time. So the devotee, he wants to make his desire one with the Lord, and therefore he becomes happy, because he doesn't have to worry about anything. The Lord will take care of him directly, and the devotee becomes happy, simply fulfilling the desire of the Lord, and then that desire of the Lord becomes his desire, and then they become one in what we say purpose, one in purpose. Just like two people together, say a husband and wife, if they live to fulfill that one purpose that is the basis of their relationship, then they live happily. Each one is trying to fulfill that same purpose. What is that purpose? One is trying to serve the other, and the other is trying to serve the other, and therefore there is happiness and success and progress in life. But when we have a different desire of the Lord, we create this anomaly or this division between the Lord and us, and then we think we can be successful in our pursuits of material enjoyment. But material enjoyment is an anomaly, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. This material world is dukalayam asasratam. It's miserable and it's temporary. So a devotee isn't very intelligent, doesn't waste time trying to fulfill desires that are unfulfilled. He understands his real success or his real desire is to follow the instructions of the Lord, to come back to the Lord in loving devotional service. Therefore, he accepts a spiritual master for guidance and direction, and then everything is easily understandable through the mercy of the spiritual master and the process of execution of devotional service. And life becomes nice. Don't have to struggle anymore because material life is just one struggle, some success, ultimate defeat, and after another. We spend so much time trying to keep our health together, but ultimately we get old and get sick and die anyway. So, in the meantime, we think we made some success. Anyway, these temporary successes of pushing back the suffering of the material world is just what they are. There's some temporary. And and everything in this material world is what is called what's the word? Uh, it is can't think of the actual word, but it's always moving. Nothing stays steady in this world. Things are always moving, 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 moving. So what was enjoyable at one time later turns into something different. That's the nature of it. Yeah, thank you. This world is mutable. Thank you. Okay, so we can stop there. And bleeding, that's another word. But I was looking for the word mutable. Yeah. Okay, thank you. And we'll open it up for some discussion.
Thank you, Maharaj. So, dear devotees, a humble request if you can turn on your camera so we can make the session a bit more personal, interactive. That would be helpful. You can ask your questions by raising your hand, or you can post your question in the chat window where I can read it on your behalf if you're not in a position to do this. So, thank you very much. Yes, Mataji, you have raised your hand. Srimati, please go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you, Dinanath Prabhu. Dear Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. On this point, that it is a fact that everything in this material is mutable, changing, nothing lasts, nothing is permanent. Still, our attachments, even though they are fleeting and even though we know it ends with the body, they go very, very deep. For example, I was just talking to one young mother, and she was sharing with me that I really want to do this Varnashram project. I really want to do something on the land. And then that way, my children, my grandchildren will have something. And then I will take birth again as one of their children to continue my spiritual life with them like this. And I was thinking, how is it that we don't have the desire to go back to Godhead, but we have this desire to take birth again in a family? Yes, it's a family of devotees, but I want to come back in my family of devotees. I want to take birth again as my grandchild's grandchild, and I want to continue. So then, where's our Krishna consciousness if this is the way we are thinking?
That's not so bad. At least they want to do devotional service life after life.
Hmm.
No, it's not when we say an inordinate desire.
Mm-hmm.
But where's the attachment? The attachment is to family members. So that is thing that is not guaranteed. Who says you're going to come back into that family again? It says, Prabhupada says, when you leave the body, you have no control of where you're going to go next. It's always based on your desire. Of course, if you have a desire like that and you qualify to achieve that desire, you may receive it or you may not. But to come back to want to serve life after life is fine. Well, Haridas Thakur, when he was asked by the Lord, take a benediction, he said, I want to come back into my next life and become, a dog in the house of one of your devotees, so I can get the remnants of their foodstuffs. But he's talking about great devotees. So you'll see many devotees, they pray to come back to be a devotee in their next life in a better situation where they can get the remnants of other devotees and engage in devotional service. So we shouldn't try to discourage that. You should just, all you could say to that is there's no guarantee you'll come back into the same family.
No, I didn't say anything. I was simply listening because I was like, this was something new. I had never heard it before. So I was wondering what this is all about. And I just accepted whatever she said.
Okay.
But isn't it true also, Maharaj, that Srila Prabhupada said, finish up your business in this lifetime? So are we talking about coming back as a pure devotee again and again and again on the order of the Lord to spread the mission of Krishna consciousness versus coming back because I'm forced to come back because I haven't completed my Krishna consciousness?
Yeah, we should try to become purified of all material desires and desire to ultimately go back home, back to Godhead, or at least take birth in the family of pure devotees in their next life. That's nice. Pure devotees, not just any family.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for your obeisance.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Shivakumar Prabhu, please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Then out proms, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Maharaj, one question I had from today's class, Maharaj, which is also connected to some of the questions that were discussed a few days ago, Maharaj. Like we talk about how the material pleasure translates into distress in due course of time. That's our experience as well for most of the devotees.
Yeah.
And yes, Maharaj. So I'm just bringing up the topic in the context of spiritual life also, Maharaj, that sometimes when we kind of want to deepen the relationship with the devotees, when we move closer, I'm saying not with all devotees, Maharaj, but some of the devotees. Unfortunately, in some cases, critical ones where we think there is scope for spiritual progress. So in those relationships, when we get closer to the devotees, somehow at some point the conditioning becomes manifested on both the sides, and it makes it difficult to kind of continue the relationship in a conducive way, which is conducive way for spiritual progress, Maharaj. So I just wanted to kind of hear your words as to, even in spiritual life, it seems that the pleasure we experience in the beginning turns out to be a challenge, difficult situation in due course of time.
In that development of that relation initially, is this person who is distressful, they asking for some help? Do they want you to help them, overcome their distress? Is that some of the basis for the relationship?
Yes, Maharaj. That's a little bit of my experience. I'm going through some challenges in sadhana, and I look for some support they are not able to extend the support because of time or their interest of playing such role and things like that. But they expect just the contribution in the service and things like that, Maharaj, that the relationship gets.
Well, just develop that relationship that is satisfying to you.
Mm.
There's so many devotees. So look for that relationship that you can develop nicely. Whatever comes along may not be what you actually find. Relationships with devotees are very, what we say, they span out into doing things for each other, or somehow or other supporting each other in their own practice of Krishna consciousness. Giving another person support, giving the other person when they ask for advice. If you take the role of an advisor, it's not an equal relationship. Or if they take the role of an advisor, it's not an equal relationship. Then it's more like, it's almost like guru to the disciple. But if you share Krishna consciousness together, that is called, developing relationship with equals. So you have three categories. You have relationships with those who are in a lesser position than you, the less people who are in the same position, and those who are in a superior position. So in each one of those relationships, there's a particular mood. Yeah. So let's see. We got Dinanath, go to Canto 4, Chapter 8, verse 34.
Canto 4, Chapter 8, verse 21.
4 to 34.
Okay, Maharaj, just give me a moment.
4, 8, 34.
Yes, Maharaj, it's there. Let me bring it up.
This is a very important verse. I want to read the Sanskrit. Gunadikam buddhav lipset anukroshan gunadamat maitre samarvan anvichana tapar abhibhuyate. Okay, here we go. Both the translation and the purport is good. Every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate towards them. And when he meets someone equal to himself, he should make friendship with them. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of the material world. Purport. Generally, when we find someone more qualified than ourselves, we become envious of him. When we find someone less qualified, we deride him. When we find someone equal, we become very proud of our own activities. These are the cause of all material tribulations. The great sage Narada therefore advised that a devotee should act perfectly. Instead of being envious of a more qualified man, one should be jolly to receive him. Instead of being oppressive to a less qualified man, one should be compassionate towards him just to raise him to the proper standard. And when one meets an equal, instead of being proud of one's own activity before him, one should treat him as a friend. One should also have compassion for people in general who are suffering due to forgetfulness of Krishna. These important functions will make one happy within this material world. So there's the whole blueprint right in front of you. Take this verse, read it over and over again, and then when you interact with people according to these different types of relationships, you develop the proper mood within that relationship. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, just one follow-up question, Maharaj. I'm just picking up a specific situation, Maharaj, where if we are trying to have a relationship with a superior, an advanced devotee, and we are expected to do some service to him, but he is not in a position to provide us necessary support as in even some moral support, kind of giving time to give us some guidance on some of the challenges and things like that. If you are not able to get that kind of support and still are expected to do the service to the advanced devotee, how do we go approach Maharaj that situation?
Well, if you can't get the support there and you're required to do service to that person, do service to that person and get the support somewhere else.
Hmm.
And make your situation known to another person who may be able to give you support.
Hmm.
To say that nobody's going to give you support means you're not really trying to find it. You can always get support. There's always devotees like to help devotees. There's always devotees who are in a position, they make it their service to help other devotees.
Hmm.
They go out of their way. That becomes their focus.
Hmm.
Our society is like that. Devotees like to serve other devotees. Just like today, I'm trying to help this one disciple. And so the situation is beyond my control to supply what is needed in the situation. So I made a phone call. This was this morning. I made a phone call to someone who likes to serve and who's quite good at it also. And so I called her up and I said, "This is the situation. Can you help?" She said, no problem. We'll take care of it in no time."
Hmm.
So, yeah. So there are devotees that like that, you know.
Hmm.
So sometimes we want help from someone, but we can't get it from the same person we want help from. We can find it somewhere. It's
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
But if we don't interact with devotees, we don't know what the situation is.
Yes. Thank you so much. This is something.
You still look, you sound bewildered yet. I don't know what is your bewilderment. Please explain.
Um, okay, so maybe I'm still not. Um, I mean, I'm not still not pure enough, Maharaj, to kind of. I mean, the theory is convincing. I lack certain aspects of what you were trying to answer, Maharaj. But still, somehow, somewhere in back of my mind, I have this wrong expectation that a person who is expecting a service should also take the responsibility of helping out. Like in your case, Maharaj, you explained that although you are not in a position to provide that help, you arranged for that help. But in my case, it seems the devotee is just cutting down, saying not directly but indirectly, don't come to me for these things. Just approach me as far as the service is concerned.
Are you required to do that service for that person?
Not necessarily, Maharaj. Just out of
Then,
my
then, then don't do it then.
that's what I'm. Mm. Just out of my.
Yeah, just don't do it if you're not required.
Mm.
If it's your spiritual master, that's one thing.
Yes.
But you don't have to. Any senior devotee comes and asks you to do something doesn't mean you can take the service and you can see if it's not you're not getting the reciprocation you need, and you can move on.
Yes. Mm. Yes.
Are you okay now?
Yes. Yes, Maharaj. Yes. I understand.
Okay, I'm trying to get to the point where you are satisfied with the answer.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for your mercy. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Maharaj, there's a question in the chat window from Pavani Mataji. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. The question is, Maharaj, I was hearing a lecture and the speaker says Maya sometimes comes as your best friend and even as Krishna. Could you please elaborate on how Maya even comes as Krishna?
Maya says the same thing that Krishna says, but the motivation behind the statement is different. In other words, anybody can repeat the Guru or the Supreme Lord, but what is their motivation? And maybe you can't see that, but if you look for it, you'll probably see it in due course of time. Yeah, there's people who want. There's even people who say they're Krishna, but they're Maya Das. That's all. They're not Krishna. They're Maya Das. I'm an incarnation of Krishna. Yes, because they say that, and then they can do some magic, and then they attract people by their magic, and people think, oh, they're Krishna. Bhakti Vinod Thakur had a deal with one person called Bishikisena. He said he was an incarnation of Mahavishnu, and people were believing him because he had mystic power. But Bhakti Vinod Thakur wasn't fooled by such persons, and he exposed them. So yeah, for people who want to imitate God or just repeat God, but use their God's statement for their own selfish purposes, that's all. To get you to do what they want you to do. So you should be able to discriminate, and if you can't, get some help. You know, Prabhupada was talking about this today. I was listening. They say they're God. We say, all right, let's go over downhill. I met one person, he said he was Jesus Christ. I was in New Vrindavan, he came. And I challenged him. I said, let me see the marks of crucifixion on your hands, because Christ has those marks. That's the way to identify the real Christ. And he flashed his hands in front of my face so fast that I couldn't see anything. And then I said, I didn't see anything. He said, I only show it once. There are all these cheaters are out there. So yeah, yeah. Even the Bible says the devil speaks the words of God also.
Thank you, Maharaj, for clarifying that.
Where's Pavani? I don't see her at all. She's there.
She just replied on the message, so she's there.
What'd she say? I didn't hear the. Oh, there she is. So you have somebody running around your temple saying that they're God.
No, Maharaj, I just heard this in a lecture, so I thought of asking you. I didn't really understand the meaning.
Yeah, so there are people who will try to imitate the spiritual master or God and say the same things that the spiritual master says. But their motivation is to control you. Krishna. 1 minute, I'll be right back. You need anything? The plates are over there. Yeah. Okay. The water's here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's true. There's people who will imitate, just like if you want to be popular, imitate the reality. Even though you're not qualified of the same qualities of the reality, imitation is there everywhere. It's cheap. Imitation's cheap.
Thank you, Maharaj. This is a very important topic in the sense everybody wants to become Krishna. Especially in Indian subcontinent, every few months you have some popular person comes in. They manage the social media very well and they become very popular.
Or they repeat. To repeat Krishna, the spiritual master, is what we want to do. But we don't say we are Krishna or the spiritual master. We repeat Krishna's words as a way to educate others in the process of bhakti. But there's people who repeat who have motivations for why they're repeating. That you may not see sometimes. You can't see their motivations, but they have an agenda. So that's hard to detect initially, but in due course of time, it'll be more easily detectable. So what that person said was a very important part that you should be very wary of. That's why when someone says something, you should get clarification and ask questions based on that. In other words, when they repeat God, you ask them to give some reference. The thing is, what is that? The Christians say, devil reciting scripture. That's their statement. So there are people who use the words of God and Guru to gain some material benefit, some power, some control, some glorification, something. It's not always easily to notice that, but it's there. So best to ask you talk to if you feel like you've met such a person, you can just go to Yugala Kishore and say, Yugala, what do you think of this? And he'll straighten it out. Okay?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
He's qualified. Okay, next question. We're running close to the end here. So
Yes, Maharaj, we got Amritanam Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, Guru Maharaj, I don't have a question though, but from this discussion, I was just making an observation that especially in India, I so much observe and I see around that there's such strong influence of demigod worship and Mayavadis and impersonalists. And I was just wondering how are they so strong in on that side rather than you know uh, coming on the platform of selfless bhakti. But then I just observe that in general people they want to give and take. They can't only give. They want something, and that is why they end up either in demigod worship or
right.
impersonalism.
Very good point. Yeah.
They can't.
Prabhupada says there are four kinds of people. The karmis, they want material enjoyment. The jnanis, they want liberation. The yogis want material power, and the bhaktas want to serve Krishna for Krishna's pleasure. The first three have some personal desire. So 3 out of 4 categories of people. Demigod worshippers are the materialists also. They want a better material situation after this life, that's all.
The fact is, even Prabhupada said that if you want something, then go to Krishna only. He can provide you what is necessary, but they they will not go. They will indulge into the demigod worship. We get this by worshipping this demigod. We get this by worshipping this so and so demigod. They will indulge in that, but not approach Krishna. That's really sad. What I feel, what I see.
But what does Krishna say about that type of desire? He says, Harita Gyan. He says their intelligence is crippled. They're cripple-minded. That's Krishna's statement. So yeah, you're surrounded, but surround yourself with devotees and just preach to these rascals. Don't worry about it. In India, is different than in other countries. You can speak the truth because people know what is bhakti. You can speak it. Whether they accept it or not, that's another thing. You don't have
Gurmaharaj,
to.
I guess I have a difficult material situation, but I do have this thought many times. Should I come out of this situation to move ahead in devotional service?
Come out of what
Um,
situation? Being surrounded by all of these, these materialists.
yeah, but without talking to you, without your permission, I can't do this, and I'm not in that mind state to take that independent decision.
It's not simply a yes or no question.
Yeah.
Requires some further discussion. Which I
Yes.
don't think this particular venue we're on now is the point to discuss your future.
Yes, definitely, Guru Maharaj. I'm looking forward to meet you, Guru Maharaj, in India.
Yeah, I'll be there soon. You coming to Ujjain?
Yes, I'm coming to Ujjain, I'm coming to GV, I'm coming to Govardhan Yatra also.
Yeah, drag these rascals with you. Tie them up and put them in your suitcase and check them in. Tell
Yes,
them,
Guru.
tell them you're going to what's that place in India? That everybody goes for a resort. What's the name of that place?
Goa, Maharaj.
Yeah, Goa. Tell them we're all going to Goa. Then when you get to the airport, you buy them a ticket for. Well, you're already in Mumbai, so you can get a ticket for Ujjain for indoor.
We get both, Guru Maharaj. I mean, if we're traveling to by train, we can come to Ujjain directly also.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, just get on the right train.
Yes.
We shouldn't tolerate people's ignorance anymore. You just tell them, you don't know what you're doing. You don't understand that Krishna is your best friend. He's there for you. You're trying to enjoy what Krishna gives you rather than try to become to enjoy with Krishna. You want his you want his you want his energy rather than you want him. That's basically it. People want the energy rather than the person.
Right.
But if you get the person, you get the energy too.
Yes. I do really feel if even if I'm covered with Maya, I I really my attraction only goes to Krishna only. I don't know why.
I know why,
Oh,
because my attraction is there too. Anybody will Krishna is the supreme success of all deities. Everything is there in Krishna. You can get something from every deity, but you can get everything in Krishna. And what you get from Krishna is Mukunda. He'll bring you out of the material world.
yes, so much. You're landing directly on at Ujjain, Guru Maharaj, or you're coming to Mumbai first?
I'm going to Delhi, and from Delhi, I'm flying to Indore
Oh, okay.
because,
Then
yeah.
Ujjain is yeah.
Come early. Come for Radhastami in Indore, in Ujjain.
Radhashtami.
31st of August.
I'll be.
Okay.
For now, I have taken tickets, but to prepone the situation, I'll let you know.
All right. You seem eager to get out of your present situation.
I am very much unpredictable, Guru Maharaj. If things really goes out of my hand, I will just fly away.
Yeah. I'm going to give you, I have some advice to give you when you get here, but I'm not going to say it until I see you.
Yes, sure, Guru Maharaj.
Okay. Okay, we got Shrunky. Shrunky. Yeah, she has a question, I think.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, I don't have a question, but Rehan came and he wants to say Hare Krishna to you.
Well, he's not saying anything.
Will you say? Hare Krishna.
Hey, Hare Krishna. Can you say the whole mantra?
Sing Mahamantra. Sing Mahamantra. Why? You want to sing Om
He's a,
Agyana?
he's a Mayavadi, huh?
He sings the prayer, Maharaj. He is learning the Gita Charan also, but he becomes shy when he sees the people around.
Tell him preachers are not shy. You have to be a preacher. Don't be shy.
You want to sing? Any shloka, whatever you like.
He's running away now. Okay. Okay.
My video was not on, Maharaj. Then he was like, Mama, Maharaj is not seeing us.
I'm seeing him. What's his name?
Brihan.
Brihan. That's a very powerful name. There's Brihan Naradi Purana. It's the name of a Purana. In the Brihan Naradiya Purana, there is a verse. What is that verse? Sri Devi?
Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam kalo nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatir anyatha.
Exactly. Thank you. That's in the Brihan Naradiya Purana.
You want to
So
sing
yeah,
that?
no other way, no other way, no.
Sing first. Hare Krishna Gata. Jaldi se, फिर Maharaj will. Then he will go. Hare Krishna Gata, Mahamantra Gata.
We get one more chance, Brihan, and then we gonna say goodbye.
See, Maharaj is leaving. You want to sing? Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-salakya Chakshushamilitamena Tasmai Shri-Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya-Manubhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadam Lalati Sa Parantikam Vandeham.
Sadhu, 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 sadhu. Okay. Okay. You did good, Brian. All the devotees are smiling.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Shranki, come to India.
Sure, Maharaj. I'll try, Maharaj.
Yeah, come for the Vyasa Puja. Come for the festival in September.
I'll try, Maharaj.
Okay, good. Himanshi.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, all glories to Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. First of all, Guru Maharaj, I'm really happy to know that you are coming on 31st of August.
Yeah, we're landing on 30th. We'll be there for Radhastami.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Okay.
And Guru Maharaj, I have one question that I am in a big confusion that we know after sometimes we have to go for Vanaprastha, and for that we should have enough Lakshmi in our savings so that after Vanaprastha we should not get problem of Lakshmi, and then we can nicely and sincerely totally serve to Krishna. But it is some kind of real pressure in my head that now I have to do savings to go to Vanaprastha. After some while I have to leave everything, so I should have that money. So is this pressure correct, or how should I take this thing that
No, you're just thinking in the wrong direction. Don't worry about it. If you want to put some money aside, that's good. Otherwise, don't worry about it. When it comes, it'll come. And right now, just concern yourself with serving right now, chanting, serving, doing devotional service. You're very young. Vanaprastha is a long way off.
actually, Guru Maharaj, now as I am married, my Prabhu and I was thinking to take Vanaprastha little earlier.
Well, okay, well, we'll discuss that when we get to indoor.
Sure, Guru Maharaj. I'm eagerly waiting for your association.
Hari Hari. Okay, thank
Sure,
you.
Guru Maharaj.
So I think we have to stop here because Swamiji's got other things going.
Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, all your devotees, for attending. So we'll conclude by prayers. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Lord,
Hari Hari Bol.
Oh, thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you so much,
Thank you
Guru
so much,
Maharaj.
Guru
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna.